Do you know where it is in my notes? Do I find it? Where Oedipus becomes a comedy. Everyone starts laughing. They see the play maybe 5 or 6 times. And then there's a point in time when they know, oh, no, you know, don't do that, because if you do it, you know, and they're all laughing because they know he's going to do it.
It's on.
I'm sorry?
Back on 42, I think.
Oh, cool, great. Yeah, this is it, okay. Yes, that is, and their oracles, well, no, let's move up here, I like this is a good page, thanks. In paganism, 3rd line, the gods do not speak. The gods do not speak to me, even when I consult them. As they say, they signify. This is what I was talking about. You know, the oracle or the sibyl, like the sibyl of Cumae. Okay, they throw out signs. They're poets. They throw out signs. Okay, with many reasons. I mean, possible ways, reasonable ways of interpreting it, but no way to adjudicate among them those ways. Okay. They do not speak, they signify, they do not speak. It cannot be said that the gods speak to me, certainly not in the Jewish sense. This is Moses, right? Moses, what is it? Pragmatic, okay, position. Tybalt is talking now. In the case of the oracle, we could say that the gods speak to me, but as a human being does. That is, with the same degree of uncertainty, of deception, of ruse, and of chance that obtains in any human exchange. Yes, that is so. And their oracles are always very dangerous because they lend themselves to misunderstandings. There is no truthfulness. In fact, quite the contrary. There is no description. In Apollo's oracle, defining Oedipus's fate, the utterance is focused on the narrated, which means that Oedipus, who is seen on the stage, Sophocles' Oedipus, is already someone who belongs to a narrative, to the narrative that Apollo has made of him. He finds himself, therefore, in the pagan situation of having a kind of fate. Are we okay with time?
It is now 5:23.
And we were here at 4, so your union says that we have to break in a few minutes. But I get to finish this first?
Sure. Damn the union.
Fate inflicted upon him by this utterance. But I think that we misunderstand completely when we turn this into a tragedy of consciousness or of the instincts going back to Freud. Because I think that for the Greeks, this oracle is to be taken, as you have said, with prudence. This is Aristotle. Phronesis. With measure, perhaps even with humor. In some respects, Oedipus is a comic character. I mean, this pisses off so many people who are into literature and philosophy and so on, to see this as comedy. I had this dean who was a Jesuit. Can you imagine? And he heard that I was lecturing on Oedipus as a comedy. And he made it very public that he found that just irresponsible. And my response was, and I borrowed this, of course, Levinas, it's sometimes necessary to respond to the other. Response. You have to have the ability to respond to the other. It's the reverse of, you should be responsible. You see how Levinas turns that around. Okay. There is the other in language. And logic creates the other. What do you mean, the other in language?
Language is the discourse of the other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Okay. But logic attempts to get rid of and gives us the eternal return of the same, as Levinas says. Okay. But it's still there. How does one listen to the other? Oedipus is a comic character, especially insofar as he remains stuck to Apollo's text, in that he does not know how to tell a story that would put forward a variant of this, oh Jesus, sorry. This is very important for a paper I'm writing for Michelle Bauer. You know, classicists say there should be no variants of any text. We want the original, the one that the author would have wanted if he could have texted this. You know, I mean, who knows what? Do you know what you want? Do you really know what you want? Have you ever gotten what you thought you wanted, and you worked and worked and worked so long, and it was like, why in the hell did I expend so much energy on that? I don't want it now that I have it. What is that all about? Okay. You're comic characters. You're not tragic characters. We want to think that you're comic. What's the difference between comedy and tragedy?
Well,
And
Pomini
tragedy?
and, it's no Pomini and Euterpe. They're guided by different muses.
Oh, okay. Okay. Jasper says, I'm quoting Jasper now, he says, tragedy is when you find yourself in a place where you cannot extricate yourself, like painting yourself in a corner, okay, without making a huge mess. Comedy is about changes, being able to change. Okay. You can all of a sudden not be in that corner. How, whatever what means, you know, it really doesn't matter. Hamming it up, whatever. Ruse after ruse after ruse. This is what he's talking about in terms of bearing witness to the idioms.
Tragedy is painting yourself in the corner. Comedy is just walking across the paint and leaving tracks.
And making something of it, you know, of the footsteps, making something of it. Footstep. Put forward a variant of the story in which he himself is narrated, that is, of which he is the hero. He does not know how to ruse as a narrator with the story of which he is the hero. This is his flaw. I am more and more convinced that this must have been a source of comedy to the Greeks. Of course, it must have frightened them as well, but one does not exclude the other. But this is not the other with a big O, but let's think of it as a capital O, right? It was worrisome, but certainly astonishing, because the relation of the gods to human beings is not at all like that. There is always the possibility of relating things differently. So you see, he's open to another variant there, another possibility. I mean, look, Aldous Huxley writes a novel called The Island. And what were they doing on that island? What's the one thing that those people on that island were doing?
No, they were genetically engineering out all negative behavior.
Okay, but more concretely, how were they trying to engineer it out? What were they doing? They were writing something. It's writing. Okay. They were rewriting Oedipus, the play, trying to turn it into a comedy. It's hilarious. And of course, it's a dystopia. They couldn't do it. You know.
Probably could do it today. Get it on MTV.